Your senior year was cut short by a knee injury. You then got a little bit of a taste with the NBA. How long did you keep rehabbing and training to try to extend that hope of playing professionally?
For sure. Once I left SMU, I graduated in May of 2019. About had 3 months of training and rehab. Moved to Chicago instantly after I graduated, and had the opportunity to work out there with some pros. And I dislocated my patella, my kneecap basically, before my pre-draft workout with the Golden State Warriors in 2019. Still traveled to the workout, but didn't get to participate. Once I healed back from that injury, I had opportunity and got invited to the Boston Celtics workout after the draft. And as soon as I got to that workout, 30 minutes in, I had an MCL grade 2 injury. So that pretty much closed down my chances of playing in NBA at that point. But I had another opportunity once I moved back to Dallas and got into the real world. The Cleveland Cavaliers called and said, do you want to try out for our G League team? So I flew up to Canton, Ohio, spent a week out there. Couldn't work out because I was still injured, but they gave me a physical and basically told me that my knee was basically done. So I had to be medically disqualified in October of 2019.
Obviously, you wanted to keep playing if your body allowed you to do so, but was coaching something that you knew early on was going to be the next chapter in your life? Is this something you'd always wanted to do?
For sure. No, I think some type of leadership role within sports was definitely something that I latched on to growing up, seeing the different professionals and leaders around me, whether it was coaches, administrators, athletic directors. Those people really had an impact on my life. So as I started going through my basketball journey, I had an opportunity to play that role while I was playing. So I tried to be that leader on the court. I tried to be that person that navigated things. And now it's funny how full circle I'm back into the coaching world. So this has always been a thought in my mind, but it's funny how life takes you places that you don't even try to go. You know, you just flow into where you're supposed to be. So I think this has just been the right fate. It's just been the right timing, and it's just the right purpose for me to fall into this position of coaching.
Do you remember a time or a specific coach who impacted you in such a way that you consciously said, that's what I want to do later in life?
For sure. It was actually a couple coaches, but my high school assistant coach, Michael Williams, I tore my ACL in high school, so I didn't get to play my senior year of high school. And that whole year, he spent one-on-one time with me, not even just physically, but mentally, you know, to just help prepare me for the next level coming to SMU. So Michael Williams was a major part of my rehab and mental rehab in high school. And then Mike Jones was my AAU coach coming out of high school, and he instilled confidence in me to play basketball at a high level and not to second guess myself. So those two things really still stick with me, just to have confidence outside the game now, and then also Coach Michael Williams helping me to be able to be that person that can give back to somebody else if somebody else is going through the same thing. So.
Before you and SMU reconnected, weren't you coaching with some kids in Houston?
Yes. So I just got back from Houston. I spent the last 6 months out there. I moved back in November 2021 after working a couple years in oil and gas, and that's how I know all of this is starting to come together, because something was just telling me to move back home, get back around family, get back to who you are, you know, kind of take a step down and figure out what you really want to do. And as I moved back, the most natural thing came to me was just help kids, you know, and just try to be around basketball as much as you can. And that's helped me through my injuries and through my story and everything. But moving back home to Houston, I spent time at my high school working with those kids there and just putting them through workouts after school. And I got an opportunity to coach an AAU team, Joe Little Athletics. And I spent the last 2 to 3 months with them, traveled, spent time with those kids, and also spent time at Straight Jesuit College Prep. So North Shore, Straight Jesuit, and Joe Little, they gave me an opportunity for me to be myself. And at that time and at that point, I kind of knew that, all right, this is starting to turn a dial into the coaching world. This is starting to turn a dial into professionalism. And I realized what I needed to do and what I needed to sacrifice if I wanted to take this next step.
All right, so you're taking this next step. You're back at SMU, and you're listed as a graduate manager. What's the difference between a graduate manager and a graduate assistant coach?
Okay, for sure. Yeah, no. So we have our managers who basically help around the different operations and the logistics within on court. So helping the players with waters, wiping up sweat, getting the basketballs out, the small things that you do that you don't really see, most guys doing. You're not praised for those things. So that's the graduate manager kind of plays that role. The graduate assistant is basically a coach. You're still able to go back to school, get your master's program, but you're more in a position heading towards being a coach in basketball. So graduate assistant basically it makes it more specific to be more of an assistant coach. As a graduate manager, you're playing a lot of different roles and wearing a lot of different hats that a lot of people don't want to wear. But for me, I'm humble and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, to help these guys here, help the university, and then overall it's going to help myself. So I'm learning things just wiping up sweat. So
So how did this connection happen? Did Coach Lanier reach out to you? Did you pester him when he got the job? How did you and SMU reconnect?
That's funny. Well, I'm going to give you a little backstory. Coach Lanier actually came to my high school in 2014 and recruited one of my teammates, Kerwin Roach, that eventually went to Texas where Coach Lanier was under Rick Barnes. And it's funny, as soon as he got the job here, it brought me right back to that situation of just like, oh, I already met Coach Lanier. And as soon as he got in, I made a trip up to Dallas, and I really just wanted to introduce myself. Being a former player here at SMU, I think it's just the right thing to do. Welcome the new coaching staff in and just, be that former player that can help bridge the gap from past years to the next phases of SMU. And once that kind of happened, we just kind of stayed in touch and shared ideas. And at the end of the day, he knew what I brought to the table and what I brought in value. And I knew what he's capable of doing here at SMU and what his past seasons as a head coach and also under different coaches like Rick Barnes. So we both knew it was a mutual agreement, and the more we talked about it, the more we knew that we can make it happen. So I think it's a good situation.
So you could have kept coaching high school and AAU ball. What appealed to you about getting back to the college level?
For sure, I think right now being 25 years old and being relatable to coaches, and no, not just coaches, being relatable to players, I have the opportunity to be that person that can really not just help them on the court, but also help them off the court. I could do that with high school kids also, but the competitiveness at this level still drives me, because I'm still only 3 years removed, and it kind of just pushes me to that next level of information, knowledge, being around high-level guys, and just trying to get the most out of myself. I think that's what these next 5 years are for, is to just try to be my best, try to do my best, and every opportunity I can to get to move forward, get better, learn more. I'm trying to do that. So it was a perfect situation for me to go from Houston, Joe Little, North Shore, and Straight. They were all open to it. So it's a mutual thing. And coming here now is just want to open the door and figure out where I can go from here.
Asking if you reached out to your former coaches or other people you knew in the coaching industry,
For sure.
just to give you an idea about what to expect and maybe some things that you didn't really realize coaches do when you were playing.
Right on. No, I reached out to a few coaches, and over time they started to tell me that I always was ears first. I say this, I have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, because once people kind of knew that this is where I was going, I just asked questions and let people fill me in with what I was willing to, what to expect. It's really about professionalism, being punctual, and just knowing what you want, and knowing what you want out of this and what your why is. And once I figured out my why about what I loved about the game, this has been very clear. But my former coaches that are in different places now, I've reached out to them and kept up with them, and we're all clean and cool, but we're always going to be that, because it's always going to be a family. Because when you win games and do things that we did here at SMU, it's going to be a for life thing. So I'm thankful for all my former coaches and everybody that has put time and reached out to me, for sure.
If I mention the date, November 14th, 2015, what does that mean to you?
November 14th, 2015, was that my first college game?
That was your first college game, and you guys beat the brakes off of Sam.
Yep.
Impressive, Sam
Yep.
Houston State. Do you remember your emotions, your thoughts about your first college game, and do you anticipate your first game as a coach having any similar emotions and feelings?
Man, I thought I was going to be the first one to dunk, but Shake Milton got his dunk before me. I was supposed to be the high flyer, but he got in, he got his first dunk. But besides that, no, I think just the emotions for me at that point, not playing my senior year of high school, coming off a state championship my junior year, not playing senior year and coming into college, different rate, different speed, different expectations. That's what was on my mind. It was just how do I fit in? How do I flow? How do I make things happen? How do I help my teammates? And then overall, once I started doing that, stop thinking about if I'm scoring or if I'm doing this or what am I doing good? I didn't want to be my own critic. I just wanted to be the best player and the best teammate that I could be. And it worked out for me. I made relationships with good guys and we won a lot of games. So no, I think that was the main perspective coming into college.
Have people started calling you Coach Foster yet, and have you gotten used to it?
I have not gotten used to it. I've started to hear it. Even my family, they'll sneak it in and say, get on the phone and say, hey, Coach Foster, or, I have friends, and even the kids at the camp, or even the players, they even call me Coach. And it's funny because I may be 1 or 2 years older than them, but it's the respect and it's the understanding of what I've done and what we've done here at SMU, but at the same time, I'm trying to learn how to embrace a role. I'm learning how to not show too much humbleness, and try to have that confidence and have that swagger about me to the point where I can be that coach and be that person that's relatable. So,
will your knee let you get out on the floor and show the current players some things that you did?
I have. We actually played our first pickup game yesterday, and I jumped in and. Man, it's a blessing. All of this is just all full circle because I spent the last 2 years not being able to move, not being able to get out of the bed just from all the injuries and trauma I've had. 2 surgeries during the pandemic, 3 total ACLs, 4 total knee surgeries, all on one leg, 11 different injuries on one leg. So I have L5-S1 compressed disc in my back. So there's a lot of different things that go on, but I don't show it, But I've learned to train my mind. My body hurts every day, but if my mind doesn't tell me my body hurts, my body doesn't hurt. So I try to use that to help me keep going. And ever since I started changing my mindset, it's allowed me to get back on the court and play with the guys in practice, being able to move around, help the guys, give them a bump here and there. And I've learned how to train myself. So thankful for the SMU education, the Simmons School, just helping me, Just like if I didn't have that education, I don't think I would know how to train myself, how to get through all these rehabs. So overall, I'm glad to be back moving around, playing, and just getting out there and sweating again. I think now I see what the small things about basketball, what's fun, just going to set a screen, like the gratitude of just setting a screen and rolling, not even touching the ball, just being out on the court. So that's what I'm trying to share with the guys. If they can get that perspective early, their careers can go very far. And if they can understand that this game is way bigger than just the orange basketball in the hoop. You're creating relationships. You're creating lifelong relationships. You're learning every day. You're pushing yourself through adversity, and you're finding a way to shape yourself as a man. So everything that I learned from basketball has shaped me for who I am today. So I'm just trying to embrace it.
Okay, you've only been back at SMU for a minute, but have you gotten a sense of Coach Lanier and either his teaching style or just his style running a program, what he's like interacting with you and the rest of the staff?
Right. I respect Coach Lanier so much already because he, like I said, my word right now is just punctuality. Everything is punctual. Everything has to be done to this point, to this level, to this detail. And he's allowing guys to be themselves, to flourish and expose themselves to who they are. He's not the coach that's gonna sit on top of you. Even for me, as coming in as a grad assistant, I didn't know how to, or grad manager, I didn't know how to play this role. But he's allowing me to learn every day and to just be a part, listen, and grow. So from that perspective, coaching style, unbelievable. He's very respectful to us, and in return, we're going to be respectful to him. And just play style, we haven't gotten too in-depth about what we're going to do, being 2 weeks into the summer. But overall, we're going to play hard, and we're going to be on the glass, and we're just going to do everything. We're going to be in the right spots. Defensively, offensively, we're going to talk, we're going to bring energy, and that's the level of attention and detail that's already being brought to the table. So as long as we build that foundation and keep going, I think I believe we'll have a great season.